2021 ended with a movie with some hard-hitting commentary on our society. And this week, we're here to discuss whether Don't Look Up is accurate or way off based on its views. I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
You're listening to episode 38 of our podcast. We used to talk about this at work. So Matt, I don't know if you recognize me, but I'm well again.
It's good. Yeah, you were shitty.
Yeah, it was not a good 2 weeks there. And I appreciate you stepping up and doing all the vocal stuff on that last episode.
I mean, I need to do more.
I won't argue that.
Right. I'm using this as a jumping point for when I start my own podcast eventually.
I get that. You guys, you're just gonna leave me in the dust. That's fine, but you do know that editing is involved with podcasts, right?
Right. But my new podcast is only going to be 20 minutes long. It's going to be a fast listen for the listeners. Quick edit. It's going to be good.
What's it going to be about?
It's going to be something I can talk about in 20 minutes or less.
The topic to be determined.
Yes.
All right, so while we're all chatty and stuff and getting acquainted, I would like to introduce the listeners to Kaitlyn.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So Kaitlyn, who are you?
I am Kaitlyn. I am an interior designer. Fairly new still to the St. Louis area. I moved here from North Carolina in 2020. And that's the gist.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, miss. So welcome to the show. What's on your mind this week?
A lot of things, really. Work mostly. My friend's coming to visit me this week, so that's very exciting.
Oh, where's your friend coming from?
She's coming from the coast of North Carolina.
Okay.
It's her first time in St. Louis, so I'm gonna show her a good time while she's here for several days.
You're gonna take her to the Arch?
Yeah, so I don't know if we're able to go to the top right now, but I've never actually been to the top, and obviously neither has she, so that's something we might do if we're able.
So since you haven't been in St. Louis that long, how do you like it there?
It's not bad. It's an adjustment. I'm from small town USA, so it's definitely a culture shock, but in a good way.
So have you able to enjoy some Emo's pizza?
Yes, I've had Emo's.
And what's your thoughts about it?
I mean,
to be honest.
Well, before you answer that, I just want you to know that we have a large listener base in St. Louis.
But you're editing this out, right? So
we gotta see where it goes.
Yeah.
For the listener's sake, it is good, and it is endorsed by Simone Biles herself. No, it's. I mean, it's.
Wait,
good
what?
For
she did an endorsement for Emo's Pizza?
Yeah, when they were here for Olympic trials.
Not exactly. Like, they gave her some free Emos when she was here, and she was like, "Thank you."
But she tweeted later on and said, "I miss Emo's pizza."
Right, because when she opened up the pizza box instead of pizza, there was a fucking check in there.
No, but I mean, it's good for what it is. It's pizza. I'll eat it, but I'm not like, oh my God, Emo's,
It's okay to say that it's not that good. Like, yeah, if you've never left the St. Louis area, Emo's is the best pizza in the world, right? But like, you've had some other types of pizza. You're like,
yeah, right.
I've had someone
tell me that they are a pizza snob, and I was like, oh, okay. What's the best pizza? Because I love food. I want to know what the best pizza is. And he's like, I say Emo's, and I'm like, but you're a pizza snob, and okay.
I assume you cut this person out of your life afterwards, right? This fucking liar.
It took a little while, but yes, I did.
I'm just trying to think of other. What is it? Toasted ravioli, red hot riplet. What are like
Yeah.
St. Louis
Can
Vest
food?
we
soda.
talk about toasted rav though for a second? Because why is it on every menu at every restaurant? Like Greek restaurant, I
Because
swear
you're
I've
in
seen it on
St.
like the
because you're in St.
Mexican restaurant.
Louis.
Right,
I
but
guess
like, but what's the hype about? Like, why
It's
that, and why?
it's our signature
But why?
because it's what we got. Like if you were in Chicago, every place would be like, here's a deep dish. You're like, oh, this is a hot dog place, but here's a deep dish.
That's fair. I guess it's like how pierogies are in Pittsburgh. They're cute. They're on like every restaurant's menu.
Gotta take your word for it. Never been to Pittsburgh.
It's a really cool city.
Also, last thing is have you had White Castle?
Yeah, I don't think I've had White Castle in probably over a decade, but yes, I have had White Castle.
White Castle, their reaches all the way to the East Coast though.
Oh, it just doesn't go to
Yeah,
the West
so
Coast.
the East Coast we have Crystal with a K. That's like our White Castle. But I did spend some time in the Midwest as a kid.
Oh, okay. I love me some White Castles. Whenever I go back home, that's the first stop from the airport. Is after that we're going straight to White Castles or Emo's Pizza.
So the first stop when you get home from the airport is White Castle, and by the time you get home, you're ready to hit the toilet.
Hey, that's the ritual. That is a ritual.
It's got to flush the
Welcome
system.
home.
Right.
Okay. So, Kaitlyn, are you getting out in the St. Louis area, seeing the sights, or checking out the nightlife?
I've been trying to get out a little more. It's been a little hard to make friends with COVID and everything, but I have been going to some concerts. I went to a few in the last couple of months, and that's the first time that I've been able to go since probably the end of January in 2020. It's been interesting how different, but also not different the experience has been going to concerts pre-COVID and during COVID.
Elaborate on that.
Well, now most venues will require that you show a vaccination card or a recent negative COVID test, which is pretty standard for a lot of public events right now.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as it not being that different, you go into these venues and these people are still, in the pits, getting as close to the stage as they can and getting as close to each other as they can. And a lot of times they're not wearing masks because it's hot or they're drinking or whatever, and they're just not thinking anything of it. And I like to stay in the background and, I'm there for the music. I'm not there for the people. So I'm just kind of watching it all unfold, feeling kind of guilty for even being there in the first place. But, I'm really passionate about music. So like I want to be at these events and I'm glad that they're able to happen. But I was kind of expecting that they were going to be a lot more different. I kept seeing this whole idea of, having pods that you could rent at concerts so they're, socially distanced and stuff. I'm like, that's an idea I can get behind. Like I don't want to be pushing
expensive that is.
strangers.
These venues aren't doing that.
Right. That's valid, but that's the kind of experience I'm after. I don't want to be touched by a bunch of strangers,
So a friend of mine yesterday, he sent me this advertisement for a local restaurant called Talani's for their Valentine's special where like it's outdoor dining, but you're in like pods. There was pictures of it and it's pretty cool, but that also sounds expensive, just like the concerts.
I've seen stuff like that. Like bars will have igloos that you can rent for small groups and stuff. I did that with my friend for her birthday one year, and it was expensive. I mean, it was probably $600 in total for us just to rent it, and it only included like a certain amount of drinks and some food, and that was like a 2-hour time limit. It was definitely overpriced. It was, oh gosh, it was probably like a 10-foot diameter, maybe.
So not a lot of people could be in there for $600.
No, we had like 6 people.
That $100 a person, get the heck out of here.
I mean, like when you factor, I mean, it was in Chicago, so it's like when you factor in like how much you're gonna spend on drinks and food anyway, it kind of works out. But it it was kind of a lackluster experience for what we were expecting. It's like, oh, we're just sitting in this giant plastic bubble doing something that we would be doing even if we weren't sitting in this giant plastic bubble, you know?
I gotcha. All right. Well, outside of hitting the nightlife and stuff, like, what do you do when you're at home, staying away from the Omicron?
Um, yeah, I'll watch something good on TV or build the occasional Lego set. I've been collecting the Skyline series through from the architecture sets by Lego. So I've been doing a lot of building with those lately, and it's been fun.
What is that?
So they're little scale models of city skylines from major cities around the world.
Okay.
I've got several. There's New York City, Tokyo, Singapore, Paris.
Yeah, I've got
London.
one of London.
Yeah, I've got London.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah. What are some things that you guys collect?
I collect shot glasses.
That is true. I can't tell you how many times I've gone places and Matt's like, bring me back a shot glass. And I'm like, I don't want to travel with glass. Bring me back a shot glass.
Well, let me back up a little bit. As a kid, I collected football cards. But as an adult, I collect shot glasses. And the wife collects stars, anything star shaped stuff.
That's cool.
Cute.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah.
I guess you could say I collect board games because like I have an obscene amount that are still in the plastic.
So you do that it's like, do you do it just to get it, or you're in your mind like, I'm gonna play this eventually, but eventually never comes?
Correct. Or like I've got one that I opened like 3 years ago where I was like, all right, let's play this, y'all. And we read the instructions, so he's like, let's play something else. And so I had some people over like a month ago, and I was like, all right, let's get through some of these games I haven't played. So we picked that same one up, and we was reading the instructions, and we was like, what? And so we looked at a YouTube video on how to play the game, and it was 15 minutes long of just instructions, and we was like, we good.
Yeah.
We good.
That's valid.
Yeah. But yeah. What you been up to, Matt? Like, I'm on Facebook and I'm seeing you over here with a straw hat on, chewing straw. Over here, got a vest on with no shirt, and I'm like, what is this man doing?
I accomplished one of my life. No, let me take that back. I accomplished one of my 3-year dreams. Once I got to Japan, I fell in love with the anime One Piece. And in this, they have take it as an amusement park / botanical garden / a resort type place they have here in Japan called Hostenbosch. And basically it's like all that stuff, but it's like the architecture is built off of like Denmark. What's the places with the windmills?
Denmark feels right.
Denmark.
Okay, Denmark, based off Denmark and stuff, because it has like a canal where you can take down and stuff. But all that to be said is they have the One Piece ship, the Thousand Sunny here, where you can go on. They have shops and food and everything. And I was able to live out my boyhood dream there.
Your boyhood dream when you first discovered One Piece when you were 35?
I'm still young, man. 35 to new 25. That's what they say, right?
That's what you just said. Let me tell you what, I'm 35 and I have a heating pad on my back right now.
You old, man.
I am. I waited too long to have kids. Like they keep you active, man.
See, you should have done like I did. Had kids when I was 20.
You don't even know when you had kids.
23?
No, thank you.
But yeah, so it was great. I'm I'm all into the One Piece everything. So I had so much fun. You know, it was funny. Like kids were in there, and like their parents were taking pictures of them. But then you have grown ass me in there. It's like, nah, move over, kid. I want to take a picture with Luffy.
And then you making your son take the picture. Like
I did. I did one picture he tried to get in. I'm like, nah, get out of here. This is for me.
This is have you seen that meme where it's a dad and his daughter at Disney World?
Disney World, yeah.
Take a picture with Buzz and Woody, and he pushing her out the picture like, this is my childhood, not yours.
Right. And that's how I feel. I was like, because I've been trying to get him to watch the series for a long time, and he won't even try. So I'm like, you don't get to enjoy this now.
All 2,000 episodes.
1,006 right now.
No, thank you.
But yeah, it was good. They even have like food shaped as, you know, the Straw Hat, burgers and stuff. So but yeah, I post pictures of some of my adventures on our social medias. And to cap that all off, we ended the night with I finally got this. They finally started showing the new Spider-Man movie out in town. Because as the listeners know, I am done going to the movie theater on base. So even though they had it on base, I would not go back to that movie theater. And I don't need to rehash the reasons why. I don't want the anger to build up again.
Okay, so you saw Spider-Man No Way Home. We're gonna have a mini review right now. Let's go.
The meme I sent Chad once I got done watching this, why am I crying? So now luckily I was able to stay off the details about what's happening in the movie. I mean, I knew about the old Spider-Man's coming in, but I didn't know anything else happened in there. And the funny part is because my wife didn't know nothing. So when she's like, hey, wait, that's Jamie Foxx one from then. And then like she's seeing everything. And then when first Andrew Garfield shows up, she's like, yeah, and she gets all excited. And then like, even though I already knew that was going to happen, I got excited because she was like experiencing it for the first time. And the same thing with Tobey Maguire. But another funny thing is there was a old lady, had to be in her 50s or 60s by herself. Why is she crying throughout this whole movie?
Now,
like she's like,
when you say old woman, do you mean 37-year-old black man?
Well, he was sniffling. He had a lump in his throat. But
Okay.
This old woman, she was tears crying throughout the whole movie. But no, I love this movie. I didn't know that's the way that was going to happen with, you know, him or.
You don't have to. No, this is spoilers, gang. Say what you want to say.
Where Tom Holland tried to save them, and then I didn't know how that was going to play out. I thought it was just going to be one thing where they all come out there, and then it's up to them to fight them and everything. But I like that story part and Doctor Strange's thing. But I ain't gonna lie, when he was talking about Andrew Garfield was talking about how he couldn't save Gwen, and I was like, and then at the end where he saves MJ, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "He did it. He finally saved somebody."
Redemption. That's what.
Right.
Yeah, I love
right.
that for him.
Right. I was like, "See, he did it." And then also when I didn't know May died in this. I was shocked by that. Yeah. To when Tom was like talking to her, he was like, look at me. I had flashbacks of when he was like that to Tony Stark. Or not when Tony Stark, when he disappeared in Tony Stark, and he was like, I don't feel so good.
I was like, about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I don't know, the way he does it makes it feel so real. Like,
yeah, he's yes.
Yeah.
Like,
so I was like,
remember in Spider-Man Homecoming when he was trapped under all that shit? And like he started crying. I was like, boy, you're gonna make me cry. Oh, like
right. So I was just like, and yeah, no, I loved it. Now, with that being said, am I gonna say this is the best Marvel movie ever? Is this the best Spider-Man movie ever? I will say it's not the best Marvel. I mean, it'd be in the top 2 or 3 in Marvel, but for me, I'm still gonna put I mean, I know this is not part of the thing, but as far as Spider-Man movies, I still like Into the Spider-Verse.
I mean, technically it is like Into the Spider-Verse establish fucking alternate dimensions, and No Way Home doubled down on alternate dimensions, so they're all connected.
Okay, well then I still that's 1 and 2, Into the Spider-Verse, and this one, even though I only seen it one time, I really enjoyed it. Also, Peter's friend,
Ned.
Ned, that hair wasn't real, right? That looked like some Tyler Perry wig.
He's bald and oh, we're gonna talk about some Tyler Perry wigs later on this episode.
Oh yeah. But I was like, I just kept looking at his hair, and I'm like, his hair doesn't look right.
He's bald in real life.
Okay. I'm like, yeah, this hair thing ain't working for me. But now, what was y'all seen it? Y'all can give a little feedback of what y'all thought.
I thought it was pretty much what it needed to be for what it was, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. So it's like the nod to the nostalgia with everyone that grew up with Tobey Maguire and then onto Andrew Garfield. So it was good for that part, I think. It was just kind of cheesy. I saw it a second time, and it was like after I got through the hype of watching it the first time, I was like, this really isn't that great of a movie. I mean, it wasn't
them fighting words, Matt.
But I mean, there were like other things that I picked up on watching it the second time around that I didn't really think about as much in the first time, like when Jamie Foxx was like, I wish there was a Black Spider-Man. Like that's directly referencing Miles. So I don't know, it just makes me think that there's like it's open to more possibilities in the future of like exploring the multiverse.
Yeah. Overall I liked it, but my problem personally is that I'm too tuned in on like news, like movie news and stuff. So like all my social media feeds are like movie news websites. So like all throughout 2021, they were like, yeah, I know that Tobey Maguire was seen at this one place for a fitting. And I'm like, word? Now, yeah, I do know that Tom Holland took a selfie with Andrew Garfield on this one day, and then he had to delete it, right? And I'm like, for real? So yeah, so it's like you're seeing stuff like that. I'm like, okay, so obviously they're in the movie, and you're seeing the trailers, and you see Doc Ock there, and Jamie Foxx and all this. And so, like, while the movie is good, to me, there weren't really any surprises except like May dying. Like I thought they were gonna pull something out of thin air. Like, did you guys? So you guys were aware that in the early '90s, James Cameron was gonna do a version of Spider-Man starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dr. Octopus?
That's it. Wait, what year was this gonna be?
It was the early '90s. This would have been instead of True Lies.
All right, this seems about right for that time frame.
Yeah. So I thought they was gonna like pull like a deep cut where like Leo was gonna appear as a Spider-Man that we've never seen before. Like something to where like reference things that like if you know was what like shit about Spider-Man, like stuff that they was trying to do. I thought they was gonna throw that out at you. Like that scene
or saying like Michael Jackson as a Spider-Man.
I mean, he's dead, but
I mean, but something like that, because know how he he wanted to play Spider-Man.
Or hell, even Donald Glover, right?
Right.
That's what sparked the whole Miles Morales thing. But like, and then there's another bit where Tom Holland's Spider-Man asks the other two, like, what are some of your craziest adventures? And I was really hoping that Tobey Maguire would have referenced the fourth Spider-Man movie that they were trying so hard to make before everybody dropped out. It was going to have Anne Hathaway as Black Cat, and the Vulture was going to be in it. And like, I thought like, this is a chance. Like 20 years have passed since like, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man has been Spider-Man. So he's been having adventures since we've seen his movie, right? So reference shit we haven't seen. Kind of give a teaser, like what's been happening in this universe. Or like, instead of like the stupid ass mid-credit scenes that we got, Kristen Dunst ain't doing shit. You couldn't have gotten her to film a scene of her in an apartment and Tobey Maguire walking in the door. Like, I just wanted a surprise, you know? It was a good movie. It's just, and this is nothing to do with the movie. Like, this isn't the movie's fault. This is me. This is all me. I'm very aware of it. But just somebody that's tuned in with news and stuff as me, I really wanted something to like really surprise me, and I didn't get that.
No, I feel that. I feel like that's valid. But it's also like, if we're bringing all these people back from the dead, why couldn't Gwen be part of that?
Spider-Gwen or something, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it'd be different if I wouldn't have. No, I'll take that back. If I would have seen it right when it came out, I probably would have felt the same way. But just so much hype since it's been weeks after it originally came out, I was just been dying to see it.
Right.
So, but maybe like Kaitlyn said, maybe if I watch it again, I'm gonna be like, it's okay.
I mean, you're gonna be thinking about too much stuff.
Right.
Yeah, we're all in your head now. You can't see it again. One and done.
Most likely.
I'm sure it'll be on Disney Plus in March.
Right. Well,
it better be with the other Spider-Man movies if Sony ever gives those up.
I thought that they had a deal to put them on there. I
Did
thought they were on there now.
Are they? They weren't when I was trying to rewatch them before going to see it.
Oh, then maybe not. So I got to the theater the other day, and have you guys seen any trailers for the Tragedy of Macbeth starring Denzel Washington?
I saw a trailer for it, but there wasn't a whole lot of context. I mean, I know the story of Macbeth, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it's a Shakespeare story about a guy that's like, you know what, I should be king, and I'm going to murder the king and just take the throne. Overall, it was fine. I personally don't like Shakespeare adaptations because, like, the language of it, like, it's still in that Shakespearean tone of, you know, the time it was written in, and I don't really want to play fucking Rosetta Stone on what they're saying. I remember back in high school, they turned on that Romeo and Juliet movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio. And I was like, what is this shit? Like, y'all driving around in cars speaking like Shakespeare. Not here for it. But the movie was fine. Like, overall, you kind of understand what they were talking about. Do y'all remember that movie Save the Last Dance?
Yeah.
The black guy from that is in this. And I was like, sir, I didn't even know you were still alive. Get that work.
What was his name?
Patrick something.
How old is he now?
He's got to be in his 40s, right? Late 40s, maybe.
What character did he play?
I don't know. Some dude.
Okay.
Yeah, you asking too many questions here, Kaitlyn.
Sean
Sorry.
Patrick Thomas.
That's it.
Sorry to ask about a movie that you watched.
Look, they was talking Shakespeare, all right? It took everything in my power to understand what was going on. I missed some names, all right?
It's in black and white.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, look,
some of the names are hard to pronounce anyway.
This movie's gonna get nominated for an Oscar, man. All right. There's like, we're gonna double down on the artsiness.
Oh, it's on Apple Plus.
It will be next week. Well, at the time of this recording, when this posts, it's on Apple Plus, yes. So Wednesday, I caught up with Sharon from the Dune episode. She did some stand-up comedy, but it was like over Zoom.
Wait. Why she didn't tell us this when we did the podcast?
Because it just came up.
Oh, this is the first time doing it?
Yes.
I don't know. She should have threw some jokes out or something. Is she a comedian?
I mean,
I don't even think that episode was that funny.
Okay.
Over Zoom?
What'd you say?
It was over Zoom?
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. So how was that? So she just like this, and she was just like telling jokes?
Yeah. So it was like an open mic type situation. So like ideally you aren't a professional comedian, but like everybody there had some experience with stand-up except Sharon. Like that was her first time ever doing any stand-up.
Oh, so she's never done it. Okay.
Right. And so like everybody was in different places around the world. Like mostly the country. Like everybody was in America except one person who was in Canada. And so, we're hanging out and, time's taken away before it's time for her to join the Zoom. And I'm like, oh man, so you've been practicing your routine and stuff? And she's like, no, I wrote this like 2 hours ago. I was like, wait, what? so so I'm like, I'm trying to support you as a friend here, but like I'm like, this girl about to fucking bomb and I'm gonna have to laugh at this shit. Like, this is all bad. So it's finally her turn, and she's, I'm not gonna lie, her shit was pretty fucking funny. Like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that because she's a friend and she's gonna listen to this, but like, no, she was funny. And then after each person went on, they got like tips on like how can you make this better. But yeah, she was pretty good. The lady that went right after her is like an actual comedian, and like she fucking killed. And then the woman that went after her, she is also a real comedian, and like half of her routine was making jokes about everybody that went before her, and that shit was so fucking funny.
So she just came up there and roasted everyone to close out.
Right, basically.
Love that. The roast of everyone before me.
When you was like, yeah, she was telling jokes. There's always like two things when I think of stand-up comedians. I think of like, somebody be up there, they do like a Seinfeld thing. What is the deal with court does type of thing? Right. Or like a Chris Rock thing, like women be shopping or some shit like that. So I be wondering how people do it.
Also, this week I was on a podcast. I'm not gonna go too deep into the weeds about like how I linked up with this person, because they're actually going to be on our podcast soon. But I was on the Starfighter Full Movie Podcast with Kaitlyn, really cool guy. The premise of his podcast is you watch a movie with him that you don't necessarily have any interest in seeing, and you just have a nice casual conversation. So I picked Alien Covenant because I saw Prometheus way back when and I did not care for it. So I was like, why should I see the sequel? And we watched Alien Covenant together, and it was fucking terrible, but it was a lot of fun talking to him. It's got some good insight about movies, and I could like really, really nerd out about movie stuff, more so than would be acceptable on this podcast, even though this is half of my podcast, but
So only nerd out 50%.
Yeah, that's what I do. But yes. I was like a good 85% with him. That's like I didn't realize there was an age gap. I had to pull back when he's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, hold up, I'm old. I'm sorry."
How old is he?
He's like 26, 27.
So now I want to see what 100% nerd out Chad looks like.
Well, the problem is I got to get it back, right? It's got to feed. And so like if I'm pushing it out there and I'm not getting it back, then I'm going to pull back.
Nah, just give it to me whether I like it or not, man.
No, because I want feedback. Like I want you to vibe off of it.
Okay, so when he's on our podcast, yeah, I want you guys to nerd out all together, all over me. All right.
We'll try. Yeah, so that's been my week. I got a couple of news things I want to talk about that are about COVID, because that's our favorite topic on this podcast, right?
Yeah, COVID is hitting Japan again. So now stuff is being restricted and stuff, and it's like again.
I thought we did this already.
Right.
So the first thing is, you guys familiar with that movie Morbius starring Jared Leto?
Yes.
So that was delayed. It was supposed to come out the 28th, and now it's coming out April 1st. And apparently they've delayed this movie 7 times. So originally it was supposed to be July 10th, 2020. And it got moved to the 31st, 2020. Then March 19, 2021. October 8, 2021. January 21st, 2022. Then January 28, 2022. And now April 1st, 2022.
Wow.
All COVID bumps.
So when you say COVID bumps, like, so before now, it was supposed to come out later on this month, right?
Yeah.
Like so that means the movie's already done.
It's been done for some time now.
So when you say COVID, to me that's just saying for promotional reasons.
No, I mean it costs them money every time they have to redo the ad campaign for this movie. So the reason they're bumping it is because they want people to see it in the theater to make their money back.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And the other significant bump is
wait, hold on real quick. But this is Marvel, right?
This is Sony Marvel.
Okay, so look at this calendar. 3.5 weeks ago was when Spider-Man came out, right?
Yes, but the spikes and Omicron have gotten egregious in the last 3 weeks.
I don't know what's going on in the States. So it's enough to where
yes,
like for example, if they dropped it this Friday, for example, a lot less people will show up to the theater because of the Omicron and stuff.
It's really bad here.
Oh,
like it's very close to how it was in the beginning of the pandemic, like with the number of hospital admissions, and like there are like a lot of schools are back to virtual.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like it's really bad here.
Mm-hmm.
Guess I need to get out my Japanese bubble and see what's going on the outside.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's nothing but depression.
Just stay in your lane.
All right.
You'll be happier.
So the other thing I want to talk about is the latest Pixar movie, Turning Red, is going straight to Disney Plus. So we will have that review ready for you guys immediately. But
that's with the Fox, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the third Pixar movie in a row that's going straight to Disney Plus. But essentially, Soul was a movie about a Black person. Luca, even though they deny it so hard, is a gay story. It is a story about two young boys that are in love. And my impression of the trailer of Turning Red was it was essentially an allegory for a young woman getting her period. So I just feel like there's something going on here with Pixar trying to tell some very specific stories and Disney just dumping them to streaming.
That is interesting. I wonder if it's the concern for box office sales or just like backlash from the general public for people who would not support things like that on the big screen.
You'd get backlash whether it's going to the theater or streaming.
This is true, but people aren't out here like going to spend money on it like in the theater.
Let me ask this. Do you feel like I'm off base by my analysis of the trailer of Turning Red?
No, I would agree. It starts with her waking up as this beast amidst like gloomy, rainy weather. So that hints that it's moody and emotional. There's obvious hints that she has like body odor and she's acting out in different ways and like all this hair and stuff that she just doesn't really know how to deal with. So I don't think you're off base by that.
I guess I'm one of these simpletons who I didn't get it. I mean, I understand what you're saying, how you can make that connection, but I don't see that connection. But
what did you get from it?
To a fox. That was it.
Surface level.
Right. Yeah. Just right. I'm like, okay, turns into a fox or whatever. That was it.
That's not deep enough for Disney, though. It's never going to be as simple as waking up as a fox.
No, I'm going to say Pixar. Disney, they'll give you some base level shit. When you and I talked about Luca, Matt, you didn't see like the gay storyline there.
Right. I mean, until you guys pointed it out, and I was like, okay, I guess you can see where that connects. So, okay, what's that movie with Awkwafina and the dragon?
Raya and the Last Dragon.
Who made that?
Disney, straight Disney.
Okay. So it's only Pixar's with the not agendas, but
Pixar has like a message with shit. This week we discuss Don't Look Up.
I hear there's something you don't like the looks of.
We discovered a very large comet.
Oh, good for you.
It's headed directly towards Earth.
This comet is what we call a planet killer.
At this exact moment, I say we sit tight and assess.
Sit tight and assess?
Sit tight.
And then assess. The sit tight part comes first, then you gotta digest it. That's the assessment period.
We're gonna get the news out there one way or another.
It's real and it's coming. FBI!
Jesus Christ, you could have just called me.
This comet contains $30 trillion worth of material.
What do trillions of dollars matter if we're all gonna die?
Oh no, what if we're rich? That would be terrible.
Can you see it?
I can't. My head is in a bag.
I did have the FBI put that bag over your head. They don't do that. The CIA does, but I made them do it.
You know, I had a feeling.
It's a good feeling, because that is what I did, and it was very funny and cool.
The movie opens with Jennifer Lawrence's character discovering a comet and her professor, Leonardo DiCaprio, realizing that the comet is headed to Earth and is large enough to destroy it. They go through the proper channels, which allows them to get a meeting with the president, who blows them off. So they attempt to leak the information to the press, but during an interview, Jennifer Lawrence loses it and is deemed a meme. Eventually, the president is on board with stopping the comet because it will benefit her campaign. But at the last moment, as they send rockets to destroy the comet, they abort the mission because a tech genius, a la Steve Jobs or Tim Cook, realizes that there are minerals on the comet that could be used for technology on Earth. When it's time to mine the comet for the minerals, the operation fails, and as a result, the Earth is destroyed. Kaitlyn, what did you think of Don't Look Up?
Overall, I enjoyed the movie. I think that it really shed a light on our society and specifically meme culture. And I like that the overall tone of the movie wasn't very serious, because I think that also just kind of ties in with how, America specifically acts today. Even with something catastrophic and extinction level occurring, people aren't willing to listen to what the higher ups are having to say, because it kind of ties in with that whole post-truth idea where nobody really believes anything just because that's what they tell us.
Are you trying to say that climate change is real? What are you talking about?
I am not at liberty to discuss my political views on this podcast, Chad.
Good answer. Matt?
It was an all right movie. Not good, not bad. And it's weird, because I don't know, with the heavy hitter actors and actresses in the movie, and I'm not saying that the acting was bad, but I'm not sure if the storyline was bad, but I understood what they were doing. I'm not sure. I guess with those people being in it, I expected better, but when I say better, I don't know. But I do like how their show, basically, it's basic 2021, 2022, what people, what exactly what
to now.
Huh?
2016 to now.
What do you mean 2016 to now?
Trump.
Well, yes. Yeah, 100%. It's hold on, before I get to that point, but basically what Kaitlyn was saying about how not taking things seriously, no matter what happens in this world, there is going to be memes about it. There's going to be jokes about it. And a lot of stuff, when I was just saying the internet, social media, they're not going to take serious. And now back to that thing about the Trump stuff it's perfect. You have them saying, hey, there's a meteor coming here. Here's proof. And instead of them looking at the scientists, they're believing people on social media, they're believing politicians, and they're it got to the point where they were just look up. And then they even made a campaign. Nah, look forward, boots on the ground, and everything else like that.
No, not even that. Not the name of the movie. Don't Look Up. That was the whole campaign.
So it's like,
right.
I thought that summed it up perfectly. Where they're like, hey, all you have to do is just look up to see we're not lying, and they choose not to because of they believe, or I don't know if they believe, trust, whatever, so much into their political parties and whatever they got to say versus A, their own eyes, and B, scientists. Like scientists will have an agenda, but not these politicians. So it's just like it summed it up perfectly of what's going on with this thing. And now I'm on my little soapbox. I'm about to keep it going. So it's just like the whole thing about COVID and everything else like that. And you got all these people saying they're not taking a vaccine and this and that. And you get these magnetic stuff. And then all of a sudden when somebody dies, it's all my loving husband Jim died or whatever like that. But then last week on the social media, he was like, fuck these scientists. I ain't taking this vaccine and all this other stuff. Now this motherfucker dies. And now he was a lovely husband and he was this and that, where all he had to do, just look up and see that, oh, damn, there's a fucking problem. I should do something about it. But no. So in that instance, it summed up exactly what is going on in this day and age.
I don't remember if it was something someone said or if it was like a tweet or something that they showed on the screen and I paused the movie, but there was also a movement in the background of the movie where people were still saying that the comet was a hoax. Right. Even they're looking up and they're like, no, that's not real. That's a fucking liberal agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I love this movie. Like, if I would have saw this last year, this would have made my top 5. Like, have either of you seen Idiocracy?
No, but I've heard about it. I've been meaning to watch it.
Yeah, like that movie was ridiculous, but it summed up how stupid the world is, but it still couldn't touch how stupid we actually are in this day and age right now. And like, I just feel like this is the new Idiocracy for our time right now. Like, we're so divided right now, and it's so easy to vilify somebody that's trying to do good and just so easy to prop up ignorance.
No, I'm saying prop up ignorance on whatever side you agree on. It's everybody props up ignorancy. Like, even when you're on one side and you see somebody saying something else on the other side, then, all right, that's going to be too broad. I got to do an example. So say if you're a person who wants to get, you're for vaccinations, and then you find a tweet that somebody's saying they hate being vaccinated, then you retweet this person saying something about it. So you're propping up. It's like everybody wants to be right and everybody wants to show them that, hey, my way is better. To where before, if you didn't like something, you'd be like, that shit is stupid and keep it moving. But now it's like, not only that, I can't just be like, that shit is stupid and keep moving. Now I have to repost this and be like, hey, see, Jim is stupid. You look at what he just did instead of me just saying like that. So this is on both sides. It's like everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to have an opinion on this instead of just. And the thing is, you can't have this love affection versus of politicians versus scientists and stuff like that. That's what it comes down to.
But like the way that they spin that is they're like, hey, these scientists, they think they're smarter than you. I'm just like you. Now, granted, like even in the movie, they was like, now, granted, I'm like richer than you'll ever imagine that somebody could ever be. But I'm just like you. I'm cool rich,
Right.
But I
love Jonah Hill in this movie.
Man, Jonah Hill fucking killed this movie. He made this movie. He made this fucking movie.
Yeah. Okay, but we do need to talk about that whole Oedipus complex with him and his mom. Like that was too much for me. When he's talking about like
this smoke show of a president here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Meryl Streep, but Jonah is simping for his mother in this film, and it's not okay. He is like actually talking about how amazing she looks in Playboy.
Yeah.
And she's sending nudes to a fucking candidate for the Supreme Court.
Yeah, at first I really did not appreciate how she was portrayed, just being a woman president.
Yeah.
Being all superficial and unbothered and just
But that's also, I imagine, how her character was elected.
Yeah, it's very on brand for how our society is right now.
But also it's like, even when they were finally like, okay, we're gonna do the right thing, we're gonna Armageddon this shit, and then at the last minute, greed comes in, and it's like, wait, we can sit, like, the Chinese, they hold on to those fucking minerals. We need these chips. Let's mine this fucking comment. And then, like, the way you fucking spin it to the people, there's gonna be jobs. Like, that is so fucked up. Like, it's like, I just appreciate how, like, if an actual meteor was coming, this shit would actually happen. Like,
exactly, 100%. This is the way it played out in the movie. Will exactly, because I've said this before when we were talking about another movie about how old movies, like we bring up Armageddon, the whole world and the country rallies to do this or whatever. No, like if this was it was Independence Day. That's what it was. An alien invasion and came here, and Independence Day, the whole world rallies around to do it. No, you don't have. Well, you had this too, where they was welcoming the aliens, but then you have a whole nother one talking about why can't they come here and all this other stuff, and you have the exact same thing. Yep. So this will play out exactly how it would in this day and age.
And it's so divided because it was like they had the part where other countries were going to do missions to go up and do stuff to the comet, but that stuff failed. It was like, we can't be one nation here, one planet, one goal. That's so,
yeah. Well, and I think the worst part about that is the people who need to see this movie and comprehend it are not the ones who are going to see it. And if they do see it, they're not going to get anything from it other than, they're just making fun of us, those damn liberals,
Fucking liberal agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to comment, make a few comments from my notes here. First off, I love Ariana Grande, Vroom Vroom Army. First of all,
I hated her.
Her character.
Yeah,
but it's like is all these fucking celebrity dumbasses, right?
Or no, real. But that's where, like, it's not like I hate her because like bad actress or anything, but it's like her character was supposed to be hated, and it's like, I hated her character. Yeah.
I probably would have hated it if it was someone else because it was a little bit over the top, but it's also like very, again, on brand for the celebrities in our society.
Yeah. Also, speaking of our society, it's like when Jennifer Lawrence like lost her temper, I was like, women can't do that. Like, cause like the second she fucking flipped out,
she became a meme.
Right.
Yeah, you don't take women seriously like that.
Wait. So I know we talked about this earlier, but when she flipped out, we're not gonna talk about well, he was there, Tyler Perry, and that branches off to wigs.
So that wig that they had that man wearing, I was like, did they get that from the Tyler Perry company? Like, what is this shit they got on this man's head?
So do you think that, I mean, they couldn't have done that, thought it looked good. So you think they did it as like, they know the joke?
Completely satirical. No way.
I hope that was a joke.
The whole movie is a joke, but like it's like laughing but very serious. That's the tone of the movie.
A meta joke. That's like, oh yeah, well, Tyler Perry in this. But I would say this. I don't know if I've ever said this on mic, but Tyler Perry is a really good actor when he's not directing himself.
That's fair.
Like, have you seen Gone Girl, Matt?
Gone Girl is the one.
Ben Affleck.
She tricks him.
Well,
no, wait. This is
spoilers.
Abuse?
Yeah. Huh?
The abuse one, right?
Sort of. So the wife goes missing, and it's a police investigation, and it turns out that she faked her disappearance.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, like Tyler Perry's incredible in that movie.
What you think about Meryl Streep at the end on the planet when they showed her booty?
I hope that was a stunt booty. I love the line, "Can I touch your hair in a non-sexual way?"
Yeah.
But like, man, I lost my shit when Chris Evans showed up in this movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
What thing I always thought was funny is where the second time they're in the White House and they called Leo's character out. And then Jonah Hill was like, she kept saying she wanted to go, and he was like, "Do you want to go?" And then she's like, "Yeah," and he just slams the door.
Right. What about that recurring joke where that general charged them for those snacks and Jennifer Lawrence could not let it go?
Yeah, I was like, if she did not shut the hell up about those damn snacks.
Like,
for real, like
they're watching the stars, and she was like, "I just can't believe it's like those snacks are free. Why would he charge us for that?" It's like he's a general. Like you start thinking, well, this kind of thing. He's a general, makes us money. Why would he charge them for those free snacks?
Exactly. What the fuck?
I was really hoping for some closure on that, but like he never even.
He just likes money. He probably does that to everybody that's new to the White House.
Yeah, one of those.
I really like that scene at the end when the world is ending. Well, actually, I like that scene where that man is shooting at the comet. That's funny because duh. But I like that scene at the end, like the world is ending and like everybody's just trying to have a regular conversation because like they know this is our last conversation we're ever gonna have, and like that was really touching.
Yeah.
But wait, so for you guys, if you know the world is ending, and what would you do, or would you want to do? Because to me, I don't think I would do that.
you would be in the orgy.
I mean, I got kids. So I'd probably be around I do the orgy
earlier
in the day.
It don't matter.
What I'm saying, but I'll do the orgy earlier in the day, and then I mean, I can stand. You want to be around your. I can't think that I'm just gonna play it like it's not gonna happen. Maybe because I was thinking something like you just hugging your family or whatever, just like when it happens. I just can't see just having a conversation like this is not going to happen.
I mean, that this is the end. Like, do you want to just spend your last moments on Earth panicking?
No, just hugging your family, and I don't know, huh?
And what? Like, I feel like that was fine. Like, I wouldn't mind going out like that, being surrounded by people that I love and care about. Mm-hmm. As I die. I feel like that's probably the ideal way to die. Well, let me speak for myself. For me, that would be an ideal way to die.
That's fair. I would probably find someone to hook up with.
So you'd be at the orgies.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
At first I didn't, but then after second thought, I did like how the tech person survived. At first I didn't. I'm like, he should have died. But then I thought about it. I was like, well, no, that makes sense for in today's day and age for something like that. The Steve Jobs, whoever to survive and be able to continue on while the rest of the world is done.
Well, I was like, they just had a mission that failed. And I was like, and y'all think these rockets that's about to keep y'all alive gonna work? It did, apparently. I mean, they lost like a lot of people on it.
Right, yeah.
Shot.
I don't know.
It was like, the hint that they were all gonna get killed by the different species that they were not familiar with on this new planet.
That was funny.
It turned the whole tragic ending thing, which I love. I love that they didn't try to give this movie a happy ending,
right?
As Hollywood is notorious for. But the fact that all of the corporate elites and whatnot were on this new planet, most likely prepared to be killed.
Right.
To me, that turned into a happy ending.
And like when they were getting off the ship and they were like old and flabby and stuff, I was like, okay, like your skill set on Earth was that you told people what to do. Like, where are the worker bees to like do shit,
Right. What is your relevance on this new planet with nothing?
Right. Like, who's going to build the houses?
Not them. Right. They never did it before.
So like, what the hell? And also, I do find it funny. It's like, would we really like put our lives in the hands of Apple? Like, how many times
I don't even have an iPhone?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like one company, one fucking company. Even Google, like Google runs most of the planet, but still, like, y'all shit not like ship shape. Like, granted, nothing is ship shape, but it's like, how many fucking updates they got to put out before your phone's like not fucked up, and you expecting them to like send some drones into space to destroy a comet in time before it blows up the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's too many variables. And then it's like with companies like private companies like this, they don't want to share information with other people because they're afraid of corporate, espionage, which is why they were getting all those scientists kicked off the project. And so like they don't want to hear anything, and they keep pushing their people to like hit these checkpoints for these results. And look, that shit literally destroyed the Earth.
Right. I also want to point out that I thought it was really nice to see Leonardo with an age-appropriate wife.
Yes, I love that actress so much. She's Australian. And like, I was like, how old is she? And I was like, oh, okay, they're like 3 years apart. And then I was like, this is weird. Timothy Chalamet and Jennifer Lawrence. And she have like a good 10 years on him? They're like 3 years apart also.
Yeah, but then, he went and cheated on her. So I didn't think that.
Kate
Even
Blanchett's,
if it was with Kate Blanchett.
She's like a lot older than him, isn't she? Like, I didn't look her age up.
I don't know. Jennifer Lawrence was giving me some Scarlett Johansson vibes in this movie.
Yeah.
I think it was the red hair.
Cyberpunk look and shit.
Yeah, the bangs for sure. I was also really happy to see a main character named Kaitlyn, even if it's spelled wrong.
Kate Blanchett is 5 years older than Leonardo DiCaprio. All right. So, what do you guys think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is? Now, I'm gonna put some handicaps on this. Do not go above 70%.
Well, my initial guess was 77, so I guess that's out. So I'm gonna go down to 67.
I'll go with 47.
55% with 243 reviews. Which is surprising because the audience score is 78. I would think on a smart movie like this that would be flipped, but the people liked it more than critics, which is very interesting. Trivia time. The cast of Don't Look Up includes 5 Oscar winners and 2 Oscar nominees. Of the following, who was nominated 4 times but has only won once? Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, or Kate Blanchett?
I'm gonna go with Leo.
I'm gonna go with Leo too.
Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio has won 1 out of 6 Oscars. Kate Blanchett has won 2 out of 6 Oscars. Jennifer Lawrence has won 1 out of 4. Meryl Streep has won 3 out of 21.
Whoa, 3 out of 21.
Mark Rylance, the tech guy, he's 1 for 1. Timothy Chalamet was nominated once, and Jonah Hill was nominated twice.
What was Timothy Chalamet nominated for?
Call Me by Your Name, the gay lover movie he did with canceled man Armie Hammer. He was talking about some cannibalism shit.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Jennifer Lawrence filmed most of her scenes with a broken tooth, and due to restrictions in place during COVID-19, she could not get it fixed. The missing tooth was added in post-production. So that's where most of the money went. The phone number provided to call for peace of mind routes to America's hottest talk line, where hot girls are waiting to talk. So you remember?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that phone number.
It's a sex line. Leonardo DiCaprio's final line of, the thing is, we really did have everything, didn't we? I mean, if you think about it, was improvised by Leonardo DiCaprio on set. And
Nice
the final piece of trivia, a nice what if. Chris Evans was previously set to play the tech billionaire, but due to pandemic and scheduling, he couldn't do it.
I would have loved to see him in that character.
Yes. Yes. Walking around in a black turtleneck and shit.
Oh my God, yeah, with the sunglasses. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Kaitlyn, thank you so much for coming on. We had a lot of fun this week. And yeah, do you have anything to plug, miss?
Well, first off, thank you guys for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm not very good at social media. I do have a portfolio page if anyone wants to check that out on Instagram. The handle is created by Kaitlyn.
We will put that in the show notes.
Great. Kaitlyn is Kaitlyn. And if you're wondering, that is the correct way to spell it. And I will not be responding to the comments on the matter.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at We Used to Talk Pod. Next week, we are going to review Encanto. So thank you guys for listening.
And like always, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if this was a bad episode, but whatever you think about, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.